Okay. Hello, hello. So, I'm really making this video for anyone that has used talk therapy and like you're journaling, you do affirmations, you manifest, like you do all of the things in order to, essentially verbalize, vocalize your feelings, your thoughts, all of that good stuff. And I don't know, essentially, you just might still feel like you're stuck. You might still feel as though you're still triggered. You might be questioning your safety. Um, you might still have your guard up. Okay. And there are a lot of women who are high functioning, but we're still very much spiritually exhausted. And the reason why is because there's a lot of there's a lot of healing that still needs to be done throughout your body despite you expressing your feelings, journaling, talking about things, expressing how you feel on a deeper level. So, the reason why I wanted to talk about somatic healing today was because I got really lucky and I had a therapist that had me implement talk therapy and somatic healing. And I really don't think I would be able to have like overcome a lot of different forms of abuse like I did had it not been for somatic healing in addition to talk therapy. But everyone talks about talk therapy, so that's the reason why we're not going to talk about it today. Over on the main channel, when I was talking about narcissistic abuse and kind of like why men have certain targets for narcissistic abuse, one of the videos that I featured was a woman talking about how she puts her clients through somatic therapy, and she does talk about how talk therapy can be beneficial. But somatic therapy is kind of like it's the icing on the cake that kind of wraps everything together, right? So, what is somatic therapy? What is somatic healing, right? It is essentially healing through the body, okay? Um Essentially you feeling it, you moving it and you releasing it. You don't talk your way into safety. You don't make justifications. You don't explain things. You essentially practice your way into safety. And the reason why I feel as though somatic healing is very important is because it opens up your intuition and then you're able to essentially assign a feeling with a pattern. Okay. Um a lot of the time a lot of women aren't able to really pick up on situations where things are making them feel uncomfortable, or maybe being able to understand that they might be in a dangerous situation because they have a lot of trauma and things that are stored in their body. And so a lot of women are disconnected from their body, typically because there's just something that had to happen in your past where you had to be disconnected from your body to get through the traumatic experience. And so once you essentially jumped out of your body to overcome the trauma, and you never jumped back into it. So that is what somatic healing is, okay? And there's several different types of somatic healing. I'm going to talk about all of them, all the ones that I have used. And I have like not cute, but like I do have a little example of how like even animals use a form of somatic healing to get them through trauma. Because like when animals are hunting or potentially being prey and like they have to run, sometimes they actually do like get into the mouth of whatever the animal is. They actually end up using somatic healing to be able to get over the traumatic incident of like them almost losing their life essentially. So I also want to talk about that. This video probably isn't even going to be that long, to be honest with you. So let's talk about some signs that you are in need of some somatic healing, right? So your body, they say that term, that quote, your body is a temple, and it really is. It's the temple of your soul. And essentially a lot of trauma that's stored in your body will block your connection to more divine things, that can kind of get you into a more enlightened state, a more blissful state. And a lot of that trauma is stored in your muscles, it's stored in your fascia, in your breath, in your gut, not just in your memory. So, individuals that tend to need somatic work, you're going to feel very numb. Like I said, you're going to feel disconnected from your body because you have kind of had to operate that way due to some traumatic, occurrence that has happened to you. Um, Another thing is when you overthink things, but you don't feel anything. Like, there are some people that I know where they will overthink a lot of things, but, like, they can't cry, they can't scream, um, they can't, like, have any expression of, like, being angry. And also, the thing that's very interesting about somatic healing, what do little kids do? When you tell a child, a little kid, "Oh, I'm gonna do something," and then you end up not doing it, what do they throw? They throw a temper tantrum, and they start stumping and going, "Ah," and getting all that. That's a form of somatic healing. They're shaking. They're That's how they're regulating themselves. It's just as we become an adult, it looks very childish to do, but that's the reason why they're doing that. It's the automatic response that a child has to know, I have to shake this off of me to regulate myself. I know it sounds crazy, but I'm going to show you animals do the exact same thing. So you not being able to feel, so having a hard time crying, having a hard time just really, really going deep into an emotion or a feeling that you can, you need to let it out and you won't. Leaving your body during sex, leaving your body during arguments. You're very quick to disassociate. And then also, if you've done talk therapy and you just feel as though it's just not enough, like you're not getting the results that you need, if you have a therapist and they're not telling you to do some type of dance, some type of movement, some type of yoga, you really should get a different therapist. The mind and the body are not two separate entities, they work together. So essentially, if your brain is in motion and your body's not, like, you're going to have a lot of stagnated energy, and then vice versa, right? And a lot of this happens too, when you are in fight or flight. Okay, so you are in situations and you're always trying to be prepared on how you're going to stay on guard, how you're going to have your defenses up, how you're going to flee from a situation, or some people will fawn or freeze in a situation. And a lot of that blocks your intuition because you're still in a situation where you're trying to feel safe. And so essentially, when you are in that fight or flight response, you're going to block your intuition because you're just trying to stay alive. And so somatic healing is going to get you out of that feeling where you're in survival mode, okay? And also, you not healing through your body, you're going to block a lot of manifestations. The reason why is because when you set an intention, when you create a manifestation, you are the one that gives it the strength, right? If you're saying affirmations, I mean, you could say affirmations and be like, I love myself, I love myself. Well, you're not giving the affirmation any energy because who, why would the universe believe you and want to give you anything when you sound like that? You don't sound you're giving no energy. You're not giving any energy to the manifestation that you want because you're all guarded up in your body. You have not released what you needed to release. And then obviously it disconnects you from the source. Um, you know, lack of somatic healing, like you tend to not be very creative, you fear being sexually expressive, you fear dancing, you're very tense, You just don't want to move. You just don't want to be free in your own body. Okay. So I want to talk about a couple examples of somatic practices that I feel as though are very, very beneficial that can help you. So, first of all, you should really, really practice somatic tracking, and it's just mindful body awareness. The most important time for you to be doing somatic tracking is when you are in heightened state. So maybe you are in a situation where you might have fear, you might have happiness, you might be angry. You really need to pay attention to what is happening, right? Are your palms sweaty? Is your heart beating fast? Um, is your head hurting? Is your vision starting to get foggy? Everyone has different somatic symptoms when they are under different, I guess, types of situations and scenarios. Oh my God, that's so crazy. I was going to talk about moaning. Yep, moaning. And of course, masturbating, of course. But yeah, uh, moaning, that's a way to use your voice. So you can moan, you can hum. Um, yeah, that is also another way to use somatic healing. Also through breath work. Also intuitive movement and dance is very, very good. And then TRE, so trauma releasing tension and trauma releasing exercises, right? So essentially, it's like a method for you to activate neurogenic tumors. So it's intentional shaking. And what it does, it can discharge a lot of deep survival energy stored in the body. So like I did it through I went to like a this was in Mexico, okay, but I went to like a Kundalini awakening like yoga, and it was like this beautiful, I don't even know what you would call it. It didn't even seem like a building. It was kind of like I don't know. It was just this beautiful establishment that we were in, and it like was like pillared at the top, and it had all of these like crystal cutouts and like glass cutouts. Yeah, it's like a sanctuary. And then because of how it's built, the music has the acoustics through like the walls are very strong. And so she was playing like very like high vibrational music. Like you could tell the music is like at a frequency, and it has that somatic healing in it. And essentially, like you lay on the ground, and she like goes over you, and like she uses like her like energy work to essentially like garner energy for you to be able to like shake and like tremble and like release like the energy from your body. And it was really powerful. Oh my God, it was so powerful. I literally cried after the session. It was incredible. And you really do come to a lot of realizations, and you really do, if you have any unpacked trauma, if you have any repressed experiences or anything like that, this is really, really good for you to also do, because it will allow you to release that trauma somatically. So hold on. I want to show with this video on YouTube this animal. I feel as though it really puts it into perspective of just how beneficial it is for you to like move. So obviously, this poor impala has undergone a lot of trauma because it's almost gotten eaten by a cheetah. And so the I feel like the breath here is very important too. That's one of the first things that I noticed. Look at how big of a breath the impala just took. And it's taking very, very deep breaths after the situation has occurred. And then you obviously can see the impala shaking. It's shaking off the stress, it's shaking off the trauma, it's shaking off everything that is needed in order for it to be able to walk away, be okay, and essentially stay alive for another day, right? So yeah, um it's very, very important for you to feel comfortable moving your body, especially after like a couple, not even a couple, several days ago, I like almost got into a car accident. I almost got rear-ended. And I kid you not, that was like the first thing that I did when I got home. Because when you're almost in a car accident, oh my God, my heart was beating. I was very tense and I'm like, "Oh my god." I'm like, "The first thing that I'm going to do when I get home, I got to shake my body. I got to shake my body. I got to shake this out of me cuz it was so close. I was probably like this close to getting rear-ended. And that car was like moving at a high rate of speed. I had to like move my car over on the side and everything. It was scary. And the last thing that I could take is a car accident, especially right now. It just can't happen. So that is an example of kind of like how it looks when you are doing a trauma releasing exercise through shaking, through tremors and things like that. Like I said, that's the temper tantrum. That's what little kids do to self-soothe and to regulate themselves when they don't get their way. It's a temper tantrum, essentially. Okay. Now, breath work, okay? I talked about this on another video, but breath work is very, very good for your parasympathetic system. And the reason being is because breathing is something that you do. You just do it without any conscious because obviously breathing is an indicator of you being alive. And so you are not actively thinking, oh, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out, I'm breathing in, I'm breathing out. So you have your sympathetic and your parasympathetic system. And so essentially when you are taking an intentional breath, when you start taking an intentional breath, it is going to calm your nervous system and it's going to allow energy to flow because when you're intentionally breathing, I like to think of it as I'm breathing life into myself when I know that I'm breathing, when I can feel myself breathing and I'm taking time out to actually think and feel me breathing. Okay. So we're going to do a breathing exercise together. Okay. We're going to do a 4-7-8 breathing exercise together. We're going to do it for 3 rounds. Okay. So, what we're going to do, we're going to inhale for 4, we're going to hold for 7, and then we're going to exhale for 8. Okay. So, inhale for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Okay. So, ready? So, inhale, and then we're going to hold it. And then we're going to exhale for 8. And then we're going to do it again. So in 1, 2, 3, 4, hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Exhale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't you feel better already? Don't you feel like a breath of fresh air already? It's hard to exhale for that long. So the thing about breath work, you have to do it through you have to do it through your belly. So I always like to I like to call it a Buddha belly. Girl, I passed out. I always like to call it a Buddha belly. So I remember when I went to I went to go see an acupuncturist, and he wanted me to breathe in and he wanted me to breathe out. And he said, "Well, he's like, I know a part of your problem." He was like, you're breathing through your chest and you're not breathing through your belly. When you breathe in, when you breathe in, you're going to look like, and then like trying to hold it because you're putting all the air up here. You have to put the air in your stomach. You can't be afraid to make your belly look big, like a Buddha belly. That's where you want the energy. That's where you want the energy to be. You want it to be in your belly. The energy, your lungs are already working. So the whole point of you doing breath work is to get the breath into it, get the energy where the energy normally not is. Your lungs are always working. So we already know when you are just like unconsciously breathing, subconsciously breathing, it turns out the diaphragm isn't just for keep isn't just keep from keeping you from getting pregnant. Sorry. So your lungs are already working for you. So you want to breathe through your stomach. So you want to so your chest is going to rise, but you want to focus mainly on getting all of that air through your stomach. Like you're singing. Um I sang in high school, and I remember my uncle used to always tell me that. He's like, "You're singing from your throat. You have to sing from your stomach." So it's the same thing. You don't want to breathe in or breathe out through your throat. You want to do it through your stomach. Learn how to practice belly breathing when you are doing breath work. Okay. So Davina already mentioned it in the live chat, but vocal toning and sound release. Okay. Humming, moaning, sighing, chanting to vibrate stuck energy out. One of my exes used to get so pissed off at me because I used to sigh all the time. The reason why I was sighing was because I needed to get the energy off from being around his ass. He's like, "You're always sighing all the time." And I'm like, I would just tell him, like, "Listen, I need to sigh. Like being around you, I gotta get it out." But moaning is really, really good. I always like to do moaning when I do self massages. I do self massages like literally every single day. I will massage my neck, and I'll just moan while I massage my neck, and then my forearm will hurt just for me doing ultrasound. So I will like massage like my forearms and my biceps, and I always moan while I am doing that. um and then you can hum. Not trying to sound funny, but like y'all remember on Tina Turner that movie when she's like, "I'm your rengekyo." It's kind of like that. I gotta watch What's Love Got to Do with It. I don't know why that movie's been in my head. I have no idea. It can help to practice panting like a dog to use your diaphragm. Yeah, very good advice. Very, very good advice for you to get into using your diaphragm. Always remember your diaphragm is essentially a muscle. So your core, the lower part of your lung where the diaphragm sits, it definitely can be trained. And don't neglect that. Don't neglect using that and understanding how to use that to maximize your essentially maximize your breath work practice. That ish works with pain. I have cramps so bad today, and I was humming and it helped with the pain. It's so soothing. It is. It's so soothing. So I don't know. I like to do like a ooh like I like to do that. Um and I'll just like repeat that like 3 to 5 times just so that I can kind of, and I always make sure that I always make sure that when I do like some type of like vocalizing practice, I make sure that like I get my throat all the way open. If I have to like go like I don't know how to explain it, but I make my lips and my mouth go into the way that I need the sound to come out. So like I really go like ooh ee ah. I will like kind of like exaggerate it a little bit, but that's so that way I can really get my throat activated and get the energy to be able to like really, really come out. Cats purr to heal themselves and others that they are near and also self soothe. I love it when cats purr. Like, I absolutely love it when cats purr. If I could choose one of like the top sounds, the top like sensations that I love, it is a cat's purr. And the frequency is healing. It's healing for themselves and everyone around them. Cats are so beautiful and so healing. They really, really are. Okay. Another one is you having intuitive movement in your dancing. Mo I don't care what you wanna do, okay? I don't care if you want to body roll, I don't care if you wanna twerk, I don't care what you wanna do, okay? As long as you are moving your body and making sure that you are paying a lot of attention to your hips and your shoulders. I pay my hips, I have no problem moving my hips, that's not an issue. But I do trap a lot of energy into my shoulders. So I always have to like make sure that like I'm moving my chest and my shoulders very often. And I also have to always remind myself to bring my chest to bring my shoulders down. Sometimes I can kind of be like hunchback of Notre Dame and I have to like be like, girl, relax. What's got you up in arms like that? And I don't know, I just like putting on music and like just dancing, or like dancing in a mirror because it's just a way for you to be able to express things through your emotion without having to say anything. Because me, I don't always want to journal. I don't always wanna journal. I don't always wanna do affirmations and, like, write them down. Sometimes I just wanna do it in, like, the form of, like, motion. So instead of, like, writing down, like, "Oh, my body is beautiful," like, I just wanna, like, look in the mirror and, like, play music and, like, touch my body and, like, admire how, like, beautiful my body is. I don't wanna have to just write it down all the time, right? Um, Let me make sure I went over everything. Yeah, somatic tracking, breath work, intuitive movement, vocal toning, and then TRE. Okay. So there is honestly a very strong spiritual connection between your body and you also in response to how you are vocally doing things or writing things down, also the energy that you have within your body and how you are going to move that energy. You cannot manifest anything. You won't be able to manifest anything when the energy throughout your body is stagnant. Okay. You cannot manifest from fight or flight energy. In order for you to manifest anything and everything, energy has to be able to flow through you freely. And the only way that you can do that is to feel your body, feel the sensations of your body, understand why a certain feeling, what can you link that to? If you're always feeling like I already know if I get like gut wrenching news, I just said it, gut wrenching, right? That's your body's, that's your sonomic response to getting devastating news. That's why they call it the gut brain axis. Have you ever been one of those people or been in a predicament? You get bad news, and the first thing you got to do is go use the bathroom. You got to go use the bathroom as soon as you end up hearing bad news. Or some people will vomit. Some people will vomit at like the sight of something or things like that. Yeah, your body can pick up on a lot of things in response to what it's picking up on before your words can, before your thought can. So this is why it's very, very important for you to do practices where you are in tune with your body. There are a lot of people out here, a lot of women especially. It breaks my heart because there are a lot more women out here who would be alive if they were in tune with their body. And there are a lot of women out here who they went into a situation where their body did not want to go. Their body did not feel safe, but because they were disconnected from it, they weren't aware of a danger surrounding them. They weren't aware of what they were getting themselves into, and essentially, they were in a predicament that, deemed to be very dangerous. I was just thinking yesterday to familiarize myself with my pressure points. Yes, like I'm telling you, everyone has a unique setup with their body, how they respond, um what kind of like the things that their own body does, just based off of who they're around, what they're taking in, how they're responding to trauma and things like that. I practice somatic healing by eating a tablespoon of honey while rubbing my body with money when I encounter a dust. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's amazing. That is amazing. Also, uh you have to be able to have the freedom within your own body, especially as a woman, to be able to embody the feminine. You cannot be soft. You cannot have that soft feminine energy about you when you don't feel safe. Somatic healing is essentially creating a way for you to feel safe throughout your body. And then your intuition. Your intuition is the clearest when your body is calm. If you don't live if you don't live in an aura, in an energy where you are safe in your own body, you're never going to be intuitive. Never. You have to create a body that you love living in. You have to heal it's like a house. Your body is like a house. You can't hoard all this stuff in your house and expect to be able to. What if someone tries breaking into your house and it's hoarded, it's dirty, it's cluttered? How if someone breaks into your house and you have a house full of clutter, you got shit up to the ceiling, you're not going to be able to get out of your own house. You're going to be trapped in your own house because it's not clear in there. Everything is stagnant, nothing is moving. It's just it's no way for you to essentially be able to get out, right? So it's very, very important for you to be in a predicament where you can be in your body and feel what it is that you need to feel and not feel bad about it, not feel shame about it, not feel guilt about it. That way you can spiritually connect to higher things, to things that are outside of you, for you to have more rich experiences, for you to be able to have a life that you really, really want and that you deserve, right? So you can kind of create a ritual out of somatic healing. I know that that's what I do to make it fun and to make it very interesting for myself. So, like, for instance, on the weekends, when I'm not really having to do a whole lot, that is when I go full on, like, I'm going to do a self massage. I'm going to be moaning while I do it. Things like breath work, I like to do breath work a lot during the week because that's when everyone's working. If you have a long commute, or a very stressful commute, breath work is beautiful for you. Breath work should pretty much be your routine when you know you got to wake up, you got to sit in traffic for 20 minutes, you have a long hour commute. It should be a part of your ritual to do breath work whenever you have to do something that is very, very stress inducing. And don't be afraid to do it either. Don't be afraid to do it either. I don't do TRE very often, and that's just simply because I'm not in a predicament to have to do it often. But if you can't do something like shake, close a door and shake, you see it in movies all the time. People will people will scream into a pillow. There are some people who will go outside and they will scream, right? Another way that you can use somatic healing is also to you can do grounding. You can go outside, go, no shoes, step on grass, lean up against a tree. I like screaming in my car loud as fuck. Yes. Screaming feels so good. I'm telling you, it does. It feels so good. In the car is awesome too. Thoughts on dry brushing? I have yet to try. I've never done dry brushing before, but I don't see how it could be bad. I really only could see dry brushing being something of benefit. Cuz I look at it like this. You get massages, you know what I mean? Dry brushing is just an exfoliant. It's essentially an exfoliant massage when you think of it. So I would definitely try it and see. There's so many methods for you to be able to, like, and this is the thing, all of this stuff is free. All of this is free. Like, imagine making an appointment to go get on a prescription or something like that when in reality all you need is just time and a regimen and a ritual of when you're going to do these things, when you're going to take time to do these things, right? Good for the lymphatic system and will give you baby booty skin. So there you go. So dry brushing deems to be effective. My girls are giving the nod to dry brushing. That's really all I have for today on this live stream. I'm not going to be on the main channel today. I'm going to be on the main channel tomorrow. Um, I think I'm probably going to start making more like I'm going to start making some self-care content on the main channel. So I think tomorrow I'm going to talk about how I unbigged my back. um, I do. I think I'm going to talk about how I unbigged my back and start giving just more self-care routines, self-care rituals and like things like that. Take a break from talking about all of these men and their dusty ways. Um, can you do a video on overcoming addictions? Yeah. So essentially, that video on my main channel that I'm going to do tomorrow about unbigging my back, it's going to be talking about how I overcame my binge eating, how I overcame my food addiction because I was highly, highly addicted to food. So it's going to be touching on my food addiction for sure. Will you ever get on stage again or are you retired from bodybuilding? I do see myself doing it again. I do, especially with like how like the IFBB, they're trying to make divisions where it's like a lot more fun. They're not funding they're not even giving money towards those. Like, they're not giving any money towards like the figure girls. They're not giving any money to the physique or bodybuilding. Like, they're cutting all the money from all of those like really, really beefy girls, and they kind of want to make it like it's WFBB. So WFBB is when like they wear like the bedazzled bikinis and like they kind of make it as if like they're supermodels. That's what the IFBB is trying to do. I think that I will probably do that. That I think that if I do go back onto the stage, it's going to be something along those lines. More so like bodybuilding meets supermodel type of thing. If that makes sense. Yep, I lost 125 pounds naturally by nurturing and loving myself deeply. Oh, I love that, Yolanda. Congratulations. Amazing. So yeah, on the main channel tomorrow, I'm going to talk about how I unbigged my back so I can help everyone else unbig their back. And also just do things on a deeper level. I know those judges are creepy in bikini. One of them said he doesn't know what he's doing. He just votes for the one he wants to sleep with. Stay safe, girl. Ciao. Listen, all of those people, all honestly, I would say even the women are creepy too. The female judges, some of them give me the creeps. But honestly, bodybuilding is already very they already choose favorites. I never got into the sport to necessarily win. I just more so got into the sport to just like see my body transform and I guess just like prove to myself like, oh, I can be disciplined. I can't put myself in a predicament where I can like, make some sacrifices and, really, I don't know, I guess achieve my body being a work of art. Cause like that's kind of how I look at my body. Like whenever I'm in the gym and I'm lifting, I just kind of feel as though I'm being like a carver. I'm just like carving out and etching out my body, building muscle where I want it to be and things like that. So, yeah. Is it true that a lot of contestants use PEDs? Yeah. Yeah, I did. When I went from bikini to figure, yeah, I ended up I had hopped on. I want to get into bodybuilding myself but natural, so I'm looking forward to that content tomorrow. Yeah, girl. Now, my first show when I did bikini, no PEDs. No PEDs. I was a gymnast for 13 years, so I had a lot of muscle. I put on muscle very, very easily. Um, Already my thighs, because I've been training legs very often and I've been eating enough protein. Y'all, these thighs is blowing up with muscle. These thighs is blowing up. I can put on muscle really, really easily. But yeah, we're going to talk about that tomorrow on the main channel. So, y'all, I'm going to hop up off of here. I hope you ladies have a very good evening. And I will see you all tomorrow on the main channel. Love you, my lovely sovereign. I guess I'll call us, I don't know. I'll call us Mystic Mommies. We're Sovereign Sisters on the other channel. We're Mystic Mommies over here. So good night, Mystic Mommies. Love you. Bye.